What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today is a great day because we got the official teaser trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And it did not disappoint at all. There is so much in this trailer, there's a lot to break down and a lot to theorize about. We're going to be covering it all in a bunch of videos this week, but in this video, I want to talk about some very important details that you need to know what exactly is happening in this trailer. So let's not waste any time and let's just jump right into it. Now, the beginning of the trailer is pretty much just Ant-Man kind of being famous now after the events of Avengers Endgame. Obviously, Ant-Man was an Avenger, and he helped save the world and half of the universe from Thanos. And in fact, if it wasn't for Ant-Man getting stuck inside of the quantum realm in the first place, the Avengers would have never figured out how to go back in time. They would have never gotten the stones, and they would have never been able to reverse the snap. So Ant-Man played a big part in that, and the Avengers are all now famous. And we learned this in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where Doctor Strange says we could use an Avenger, and he tells Wanda that she could get back on a lunchbox, telling us that the Avengers are so famous they are actually on lunchboxes and have toys and a bunch of other things. As we see in this trailer, we can actually see one kid has an Ant-Man backpack. Scott passes him by, high fives him, and the kid is ecstatic. Now, as he walks by, you can see a bunch of people looking at him. They clearly recognize him. He's famous. We can see him walking down a red carpet with Hope. We can also see that he's a Baskin-Robbins Employee of the Century in Ant-Man 1. That is where he worked when he got out of jail. And then we hear a worker from a coffee shop tell him, "Thank you, Spider-Man." Now, I'm pretty sure this is just a gag for the trailers. I'm sure most people know that Scott Lang is Ant-Man, especially after Spider-Man No Way Home, where everybody forgot that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Nobody knows who Spider-Man is right now. But the point of the beginning of this trailer is that Scott Lang is actually quite famous now for being Ant-Man. We then quickly cut to a shot of Scott with his daughter Cassie Lang, and you may notice that the actress who used to play her has been replaced. We now have Catherine Newton playing Scott's daughter Cassie. Scott and Cassie are with Hope, Janet Van Dyne, and Hank Pym, and we find out that Cassie has made a device that sends a signal inside to the quantum realm. And notice how immediately Janet Van Dyne, who was trapped in the quantum realm for years and years, she begins to freak out. And for good cause, because they all get sucked into the quantum realm not too long after by the device. Now, from here we see that the group is now separated. From what we've seen in the trailer, it looks like Janet Van Dyne, Hank Pym, and Hope are together while Scott and Cassie are together, which makes sense because Scott and Cassie did go in a little bit after them because they were both holding on a little bit longer. Now, from here, we get a look at a lot of different new characters, a lot of different what looks to be civilizations inside of the quantum realm. We hear Janet Van Dyne say there's a secret universe beneath ours, and it kind of seems like Marvel Studios is trying to trick us a little bit here, making us think that this universe is something different than the quantum realm, but it is the quantum realm. The film, after all, is titled Quantumania. And here's the thing about the quantum realm. It looks like Kang the Conqueror has already conquered the quantum realm, and it seems like Janet Van Dyne knows that. Remember, she spent 30 plus years inside of the quantum realm. She definitely knows what dangers lie ahead of them, and she knows that Kang the Conqueror is the one in charge. We even see a group of people go up to Scott and Cassie, and it looks like they're going to take them somewhere. We even hear Hope ask her mother, "What are you so afraid of?" And she seemingly replies with, "There's something I never told you." And this is where we actually see Kang the Conqueror for the very first time in an extremely comic accurate suit, might I add. Now, we actually don't see all of him. We just kind of see him from the torso down. He's holding some type of orb. It looks like an energy source, and he puts it inside of something. This could be one of Kang's weapons that he's known for using in the comics. And we're about to dive into who Kang exactly is right now. Now, after we see Kang the Conqueror putting this energy source into this object, we see a huge, highly advanced city. And this city seemingly has an army. And I believe this to be Chronopolis. Chronopolis is where Kang lives in the comics. It's in Limbo, which exists kind of outside of time and space. And in the comics, it has access points to all of the time eras that Kang has conquered. Now, as some people may know, we've actually met Kang the Conqueror before, or at least a variant of him. And that is He Who Remains from Loki. And if you haven't seen the Loki series, you're definitely going to have to watch that before watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. At least you have to watch the finale of Loki. You see, Kang the Conqueror and He Who Remains was originally a person named Nathaniel Richards. Nathaniel Richards is originally from the future. He's a scholar of the 31st century, and he's a descendant of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic Fantastic of the Fantastic Four. Nathaniel discovers time travel technology created by Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom, who is also revealed to be another possible ancestor of his in the comics. He uses the time travel technology to travel back in time to ancient Egypt, and he becomes the pharaoh Rama Tut. However, his rule is cut short when a time-displaced Fantastic Four arrive and defeat him. And from there, he gets pretty pissed off. He travels forward again to the 20th century where he meets Dr. Doom, and he now redesigns his own armor based off of Dr. Doom's, calling himself now the Scarlet Centurion. He then goes to battle the Avengers, but they manage to force him away from their own timeline. He then tries to go back home, but he overshoots the 31st century by 1,000 years. And from here, he discovers a very different Earth. It's a war-torn Earth. It's basically destroyed and in ruins. The people are still alive, however, they do not understand the weapons that Kang uses because they forgot how they worked. So Kang manages to easily conquer this world. However, since the world is pretty much dead, he desires to conquer a different Earth, and this is where Kang the Conqueror is born. So from here, Kang travels through multiple different points in time, conquering multiple different Earths. And of course, he can go into different universes as well, and this is the villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, who we are introduced to in this trailer, Kang the Conqueror. Now in Loki, He Who Remains kind of explained the MCU backstory. He said that in the 31st century, a variant of himself, of course that is Nathaniel Richards, who I just explained, and he explains that this variant discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own, and other variants were discovering this at the same time. So they eventually all made contact with each other, and at first there was peace. And he says that they actually helped each other. They shared technology and helped each other grow, but then he says that not every version of him was so pure of heart. He said, to some of the variants, new worlds only meant new worlds to conquer. And then an all-out multiversal war broke out, and then it was almost the end of the multiverse as they knew it. And then essentially, He Who Remains, that specific variant, harnessed the power of Alioth and basically defeated everybody else, made the TVA, and made it to where there was only one timeline and only one Kang, He Who Remains. However, of course, as most of us know, Loki and Sylvie ended up killing He Who Remains, essentially shattering the one sacred timeline, busting open the multiverse yet again, and He Who Remains explained that if they killed him, his variants would be unleashed, and they would come, and they would be worse than him. And that's who we're dealing with now, Kang the Conqueror. And as you can see, the city that he has built here inside of the quantum realm is massive. It is huge, and it actually does resemble the city that we saw inside of the TVA a little bit. And Kang has actually already killed Ant-Man in several other universes. And Kang actually drops a line in this trailer that leads us to believe that Ant-Man's time might be up pretty soon. And Kang, of course, knows this because he's a time traveler. He is the time traveler, the master of time. So he's seen Ant-Man's future. I'll explain this in just a bit, but first, big thank you to Mint Mobile for sponsoring this video. Most people know about Mint Mobile because of Ryan Reynolds, but most people don't know about Mint Mobile's amazing quality. Now, I live in the mountains and service isn't too good. However, Mint Mobile sent me a free plan and I get better service with their plan than I do with my other provider. But what's crazy is their plan is so much cheaper. Mint Mobile offers wireless for just $15 a month. They give you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family, and at Mint Mobile, families start at only 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, Mint Mobile's modern family plan lets you mix and match data plans so everyone gets the amount of data that's right for them, and you can use your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. So to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, including the modern family plan, go to mintmobile.com/cosmic. That's mintmobile.com/cosmic. Cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/cosmic. Now, in this trailer, we hear Kang say, "This place isn't what you think." Now, he is seemingly speaking about the quantum realm, but what exactly does he mean by "this place isn't what you think"? Well, like I mentioned, the headquarters for Kang in the comics is Chronopolis, which is what we're seeing here. So I think Kang is referring to the fact that the quantum realm isn't just some other universe that people can explore, but it's the home base of Kang the Conqueror's army. And it's sort of the hub that exists outside of time and space where Kang can access all of these different points in time and access other universes as well. Now, like I mentioned, Kang is in charge of everything. However, it seems like he needs Scott's help. Now, they originally showed an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer at D23 and SDCC this year. And this trailer, although it does contain some of the same scenes, is actually different. Some parts were left out of it. Now, what we've learned from the other trailer is that this is sort of a time heist movie where Kang gets Scott Lang to steal something for him. And Kang basically holds Scott's daughter Cassie hostage until Ant-Man does what he wants. And I think this has to do with that power source that I mentioned in the beginning of the trailer. This is why Kang needs that power source. It's actually revealed in this trailer very briefly. If we take a look at this scene right here, we can see Kang on some type of platform. On the right of it, we can actually see the device that Kang had before, and it looks like it is indeed powering this platform. Now, this platform is actually something very, very specific. I believe that this is Kang's time chair. In the comics, Kang's time chair is, you guessed it, how Kang travels through time. And it also has advanced weaponry on it, including some lasers and an incredibly powerful shield. And I'm thinking that somebody, one of these random people that we've seen in here, we'll talk about Bill Murray's character in just a bit, might have taken a power source from Kang, and he might sort of be stuck in the quantum realm right now without that power source, which is why he wants it back. Now, before we dive into why I think Ant-Man's time might be running out soon, let's talk about Bill Murray's character, because I love Bill Murray and I'm so excited he's in this film. It's been confirmed that Bill Murray is playing a character by the name Krylar. Now, in the comics, Krylar does exist in the microverse, aka the quantum realm in the MCU, and he has made a machine that generates a physical form of anybody's worst fears. Now, Bill Murray did say that he is playing a villain in the film, so this person probably has a relationship with Kang. However, I would not be surprised if he's actually a hero, and he's simply pretending to work for Kang, be on his side, but is actually good. And it has been revealed that Krylar and Janet Van Dyne did kind of have a relationship together inside of the quantum realm. So we're gonna see how that plays out, but I'm assuming that Bill Murray's character is going to at least turn good because of Janet in this film. Now, in the trailer shown at SDCC and D23, we heard Kang drop a very, very powerful line. Ant-Man says something along the lines of, "You shouldn't mess with me, I'm an Avenger," in which Kang replies, "You're an Avenger, have I killed you before?" Now again, remember, Kang is the master of time travel, and not just in one universe, but the multiverse. And he can live thousands and thousands of years. In fact, when he's about to die, he can transfer his consciousness into a different variant of himself, so he is essentially immortal. So he's killed many Avengers before, and he probably has killed a variant of Ant-Man before as well. And he might have even seen the end of our specific Ant-Man, which is why I think he drops this very specific line. He says, "I can get you home and give you more time." Now, as he says this, we see Ant-Man running, and he sees a giant version of Ant-Man kind of get killed like Mr. Fantastic does in Multiverse of Madness, basically turned into string cheese. Now, this could be the result of Krylar. Like I said, Krylar invents a machine that basically can generate a physical form of anybody's worst fears, or this could maybe be Kang showing Ant-Man his future, which is why Kang is telling Scott he can help him, he can give him more time if Ant-Man helps him. And like I mentioned, based off of the other footage that was shown at SDCC and D23, we know that Kang wants Ant-Man to get something back for him. And it's interesting that the very last line of this trailer is Kang calling Scott Lang Ant-Man. And this is very intentional because remember, in the beginning of the trailer, he got called the wrong name. Ant-Man got called Spider-Man, but by Kang calling him Ant-Man, it implies that he does really know him. And again, he knows him because of time travel. He's probably met Scott many times before and probably has killed his variants. So that's it for the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania teaser trailer. I have so many more theories about what's going on, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. One is coming out tomorrow. And be sure to let me know your thoughts on the trailer in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.